company that shipped everything to rural America lost to the one that ships everything to everyone. Before Amazon was the everything store, Sears was the machine that taught America to buy from a distance. For generations, Sears, Roebuck & Company was not just a retailer. It was a household operating system. Its catalogs reached farms, mining towns, railroad stops, and places too small for department stores. It sold watches, dresses, tools, furniture, guns, toys, washing machines, tombstones, and entire mail-order houses shipped as kits by rail. In 1906, Sears opened a huge mail-order plant in Chicago that became one of the largest business buildings in the world. By the mid-20th century, the Sears catalog was so embedded in American life that it was nicknamed the Consumer's Bible. Sears mastered logistics before the word sounded like software. It used scale, data, railroads, warehouses, private label brands, and customer trust to collapse distance. Then, across the last years of the 20th century and the first years of the internet age, a new company copied the deepest logic of the catalog and rebuilt it for a connected world. Amazon began in 1995 as an online bookstore, but its ambition was never books. It wanted infinite shelf space, national reach, low prices, fast delivery, and customer obsession powered by technology. That was Sears' old promise, translated into code. The tragedy is that Sears saw the future coming from inside its own past and still could not move fast enough to survive it. Sears had once been the most modern retailer in America. Richard Sears started by selling watches in the 1880s, and after partnering with Alva Roebuck, the company used mail-order catalogs to reach customers ignored by urban merchants. At the time, rural Americans often paid high prices at local general stores, where selection was narrow and credit terms could be harsh. Sears offered transparent prices, broad assortment, and money-back guarantees. That was revolutionary. By 1896, its catalog had grown to more than 500 pages. In 1908, Sears began selling kit homes, and between 1908 and 1940, it sold more than 70,000 of them. In 1925, Sears opened its first retail store in Chicago, and the company's physical expansion was timed perfectly with the automobile age and the rise of suburbs. By the 1950s and 1960s, Sears was the anchor of American malls, the place where families bought appliances, lawn equipment, school clothes, and power tools. Its private brands became institutions: Kenmore for appliances, Craftsman for tools, Die Hard for batteries. These were not side labels. They were trust engines. For decades, a Sears store was where middle-class America went when something important in the house needed to work. By 1973, Sears opened the Sears Tower in Chicago, then the tallest building in the world, a monument to the scale of a retailer that had once conquered the country by mail and then conquered it again by mall. But the same system that made Sears dominant also made it vulnerable. Sears was built for an America where distribution was expensive, information was slow, and big incumbents had structural advantages. By the 1980s and 1990s, those advantages were being attacked from every side. Walmart used regional distribution centers, ruthless inventory discipline, and everyday low prices to dominate discount retail. Home Depot and Lowe's attacked tools, hardware, and home improvement. Best Buy and Circuit City attacked electronics. Kohl's, Target, and specialty chains attacked apparel and household goods. Instead of sharpening the core retail business, Sears diversified into financial services. It owned Allstate Insurance, Dean Witter Brokerage, and the Discover credit card. Those businesses were valuable, but they pulled management attention away from stores. In 1993, Sears discontinued its famous general merchandise catalog, ending a 97-year run. That decision made financial sense on paper because the catalog had become costly and less competitive, but symbolically it was devastating. Sears walked away from the very remote shopping identity that Amazon was about to revive. That same year, Sears spun off Dean Witter and Discover. In 1995, it spun off Allstate. Also in 1995, Jeff Bezos launched Amazon.com from Seattle. One company was dismantling its catalog legacy, while the other was building a digital catalog from scratch. Amazon's early advantage was not that it sold books online. It was that books were the perfect wedge. A physical bookstore could only stock a limited number of titles, but an online bookstore could list millions. Amazon quickly made the internet feel like a better catalog: searchable, sortable, personalized, and always open. In 1997, Amazon went public. In 1998, it expanded into music and video. In 1999, Time named Jeff Bezos Person of the Year, not because Amazon was profitable, but because it represented a new commercial architecture. Sears, meanwhile, still had scale. In the mid-1990s, it remained one of America's largest retailers. It had thousands of stores, huge brand awareness, and decades of customer data. It even had a powerful mail order and service heritage that should have made it a natural online leader. But the company's culture had shifted from invention to defense. Its stores were aging. Its mall locations depended on foot traffic that was beginning to fragment. Its technology investments could not match the urgency of a company born on the web. Amazon did not need to protect store margins, mall leases, legacy departments, or internal politics between catalog, retail, and brand divisions. It could optimize for the customer interface. Sears had physical inventory trapped in old formats. Amazon had an expanding database that could become the front door to almost anything. The early 2000s separated the two companies permanently. After the dot-com crash, Amazon survived by cutting costs, improving operations, and proving that online retail could scale. In 2002, Amazon launched Amazon Web Services in its earliest form, opening its technology infrastructure to developers. In 2005, it launched Amazon Prime, offering unlimited 2-day shipping for an annual fee. Prime was one of the most important retail weapons ever created because it changed customer behavior. Shipping stopped feeling like a transaction and started feeling prepaid. Every purchase became psychologically cheaper, and every competitor's checkout page felt slower. That same year, Sears merged with Kmart in an $11 billion deal engineered by hedge fund manager Eddie Lampert. The merged company became Sears Holdings. On the surface, it looked large. Sears had department stores and trusted brands. Kmart had discount locations. In reality, it joined two wounded retailers in a market already moving away from both. Kmart had filed for bankruptcy in 2002. Sears had been losing relevance for years. The merger did not create a stronger operating model. It created a bigger balance sheet with more real estate, more stores to maintain, and more complexity. While Amazon was making delivery faster and checkout easier, Sears Holdings was trying to extract value from assets. Lampert's strategy treated Sears less like a retailer to be rebuilt and more like a portfolio to be optimized. He emphasized financial discipline, asset sales, and internal competition among business units. Supporters argued that Sears had valuable real estate and brands that the market underestimated. Critics argued that stores were starved of investment. The customer could see the difference. Sears stores became tired, understaffed, and confusing. Escalators broke, paint faded, inventory thinned. The company still had iconic names, but the shopping experience no longer matched the trust those names had built. At the same time, Amazon invested through losses in warehouses, software, recommendations, third-party sellers, and fulfillment speed. In 2000, Amazon opened its marketplace to outside sellers, turning itself from a retailer into a platform. That changed the scale of the fight. Sears had shelf space. Amazon had an endlessly expanding seller network. Sears had circulars and loyalty programs. Amazon had search data, browsing history, reviews, and algorithmic recommendations. Sears had stores anchored in malls. Amazon had a website that could follow customers into offices, homes, and eventually phones. When the iPhone launched in 2007, mobile commerce made the gap wider. Retail was no longer just a place people went. It was something in their pocket. The deepest wound was that Amazon took the Sears catalog model and solved its old frictions. The Sears catalog had offered selection, but ordering took time. Amazon offered selection with instant search. Sears shipped to remote customers, but delivery could be slow and opaque. Amazon made shipping status visible and increasingly fast. Sears built trust through guarantees and house brands. Amazon built trust through customer reviews, easy returns, and the sheer habit of repeated successful orders. Sears used centralized distribution for national reach. Amazon built fulfillment centers near population centers, then added robotics, data forecasting, and last-mile experimentation. In 2012, Amazon acquired Kiva Systems for $775 million, bringing warehouse robotics in-house. By the 2010s, Amazon was no longer only competing for books, electronics, or toys. It was competing for the default shopping impulse. That was fatal to a department store. A department store depends on customers thinking, I need to go somewhere. Amazon trained them to think, I need to search. Sears had once been the first place many Americans looked for goods they could not find locally. Amazon became the first place Americans looked for almost everything. Sears did try to respond, but its responses were fragmented and late. It built Sears.com and promoted Shop Your Way, a loyalty and digital platform that Lampert saw as central to the company's future. Sears also had real strengths Amazon could not instantly copy: appliance delivery, repair services, automotive centers, and long-standing private label credibility. Kenmore appliances still had meaning. Craftsman tools still had loyalty. Die-Hard batteries still had recognition. But these assets were monetized under pressure rather than renewed from strength. In 2011, Sears announced more than 100 store closures after weak holiday sales. In 2012, it spun off Sears Hometown and Outlet stores. In 2014, it spun off Land's End, a brand Sears had acquired in 2002. In 2015, Sears formed Seritage Growth Properties, a real estate investment trust, and sold hundreds of properties into it, raising cash while reducing control over store locations. In 2017, Sears sold the Craftsman brand to Stanley Black & Decker in a deal valued at about $900 million. Each move could be justified as liquidity management. Together, they told the market that Sears was selling the pieces of its own identity to keep the lights on. Meanwhile, Amazon's flywheel accelerated. More customers attracted more sellers. More sellers increased selection. More selection improved the customer experience. More orders gave Amazon more data and more leverage over fulfillment. More fulfillment capacity made Prime more valuable. By 2015, Amazon had surpassed Walmart in market capitalization for a time, signaling that investors valued the platform model over traditional retail scale. In 2017, Amazon acquired Whole Foods for $13.7 billion, proving it could move into physical retail from a position of digital strength. That same year, Sears warned in its annual report that there was substantial doubt about its ability to continue as a going concern. The contrast was brutal. Amazon was buying a grocery chain to expand its ecosystem. Sears was warning that survival itself was uncertain. The company that once had America's most trusted shopping infrastructure now had too little traffic, too much debt, too many aging stores, and too little reason for younger customers to visit. Its core customers aged. Its mall anchors lost relevance. Its best brands were weakened or sold. Its online experience never became a destination. Sears did not simply lose sales to Amazon order by order. It lost the mental real estate that had once made Sears powerful. The collapse was visible in the numbers. Sears Holdings had more than 3,500 Sears and Kmart stores when the companies merged in 2005. By 2018, it had fewer than 900. Revenue fell from about $49 billion in 2005 to roughly $16.7 billion in fiscal 2017. The company posted years of losses, including a loss of more than $2 billion in 2016. Same-store sales kept declining. Store closures became routine. Vendors tightened terms because they feared non-payment, which made inventory problems worse. Customers saw emptier shelves and fewer reasons to return. This is how retail death spirals work. Falling sales reduce cash. Reduced cash lowers store investment. Weaker stores drive away customers. Lower traffic scares vendors. Worse inventory drives still lower sales. Amazon was running the opposite loop. It used growth to finance infrastructure, infrastructure to improve service, and service to generate more growth. Sears had once been a logistics company disguised as a retailer. Amazon became a technology and logistics company that made retail look effortless. The difference was reinvestment. Amazon kept plowing money into the system that served customers. Sears kept extracting value from a system that was already losing them. In October 2018, Sears Holdings filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, listing billions in debt and closing more stores. The filing came 125 years after the company's founding in 1893. It was not the immediate end of the Sears name, but it was the end of Sears as a national retail force. The original American catalog had been beaten by a digital heir that understood the catalog's real lesson better than Sears itself did. The lesson was never paper. It was access. It was giving people more choice than their local market could provide, at prices they could understand, with enough trust to buy sight unseen. Sears had done that with railroads, warehouses, printed pages, and parcel post. Amazon did it with servers, search bars, fulfillment centers, reviews, and Prime. The fatal irony is that Sears did not lose because the internet invented a completely alien form of commerce. It lost because the internet revived Sears' own founding idea at higher speed and greater scale. Amazon did not just kill a retailer, it killed the company that had once invented the template for remote mass shopping in America. The broader industry kill shot was not one dramatic blow. It was the destruction of the department store's reason to exist. Sears had been built on aggregation, many categories under one trusted roof. Amazon made aggregation infinite and removed the roof. Sears had been built on convenience, one destination for household needs. Amazon made convenience ambient, available from a browser, then from a phone, then from a voice assistant. Sears had been built on trust. Generations of families knew its brands. Amazon made trust transactional and immediate, reinforced by reviews, refunds, delivery dates, and purchase history. Sears had been built on national reach. Amazon made national reach feel local by compressing delivery times. Between 1995 and 2018, the old catalog company had every warning it needed. The customer was still there. The desire for selection was still there. The need for dependable household goods was still there. But the interface changed, and Sears could not rebuild itself around the new one. In the end, the company that once delivered modern consumer life to rural America was out-delivered by the company that made all of America rural again, at least in one sense. No matter where you lived, the store came to you.